Welcome everybody to Extend Power BI with R Python, SQL Server 2022-25, Polybase, and Power BI Desktop. We have a lot of materials. About myself, David Yitzhak, team leader of Big Data and NoSQL databases. More than 24 years of experience with SQL Server, Oracle, Sybase, Postgres, application and infrastructure DBA of national and NoSQL solution like MongoDB, Redis, Hadoop, CGS, and Spark. A lot of lecture all over the world. I've got 3 degrees, BS Information System, and 2 second degrees, MBA ME. By the way, so what is the agenda in this demo? Extend Power BI with Python and R and SQL 22. We have 3 demos directories. You can see it here. Okay. We have 3 demos directories. And this is demos. I also added new demo. All the demo are in a shared folder in Google. This is the link, free for everybody. Okay, about myself, most active speakers 24 in sessionized, most active speakers 22 sessionized. You can see it here. And this is the session. And the week before, I've been in Poland, Power BI, Machine Learning, and OpenBI, the fast track to the complete guide. This is me. This is implementing graph in SQL 7 SQL. And this is all the lectures you see. Power BI, Machine Learning, and OpenAI. You can see it here. OpenAI, GPT, GPT-4, Power BI Desktop. A lot of lecture. But what I must say that all the lecture are being changed and improved from session to session. They are not the same. Even this session has been given before. It's not the same. By the way, this was in previous Databricks. More than 2,000 views in the YouTube. So let's start. Okay. I'm not a smart guy, but I love to read a lot of books. So this is the books I used for this session. You can see a lot of books. By the way, products, Power BI, SEM creation, etc. Especially most of them from Apress and Pickup. This recommend books sample in Power BI and R. About books and videos on ChatGPT. Okay, so this is my sources. Also Pluralsight courses. So the sample database in our them will be Worldwide Importer and AdventureWorks available from Microsoft. This is the link to download them. So let's start. Power BI is not limited to data visualizations. Why? Because Power BI uses VeriCap engine. It's an analytic engine which stores data efficiently for reporting and complex solution and efficiently. Used also in SQL Server, SSIS, Azure Analysis Service, Power Pivot in Excel, engines used for reports, dataset published in Power BI service. Also, we have Power Query, so data extraction, transformation engines. We have also language M and Go to shape and type the join form. We have the DAX, you've seen the previous session, expression, data analytic formal language, which can be used for advanced calculations. We have interactive visualizations, and we have extra interactive visualization from Power BI Visuals. This is from the App Store of Microsoft. So this is all we have from Power BI for data engineering, data extractions, etc. So this is Power BI visualizations. So why should we use R and Python and Power BI? Because R and Python are very well popular now and come together. By the way, especially Python. We want to integration of analytic language, Python and R within Power BI for advanced analytics. So we have a lot of data, and we have the ability with R and Python to scale the computational power of our machine with R and Python. We have new mathematical and statistical tools that become necessary to provide rich insight. Okay, so R and Python script can use to do with Power BI with specific feature. We'll see it. We should know which Power BI tools can be used with R and Python when you inject script to Power BI. So it's key to understand whether the problem you want to address is achieved with these analytic languages. So string manipulation is not available only in Power BI query or DAX. We can create custom visualization, and it's very easy. We can use set data type APIs with Power BI data models. We can apply data science to Power BI data model without the need of Power BI Premium and more. So in the bottom line, I will show you in your Power BI desktop, you can do everything with ARM pattern without changing extra charge to Power BI service. Also, in this age of Copilot, you should need this basic material because it's the basic of the basic. And if you don't understand this basic, you should not move to Copilot or other extra tool without understanding the basics. So, R and Python scripts. How we have many collectors, but you can still do it also with script or Python and R. So how do you do it? You go to Get Data window, type string into the search, and you have two options for R script and Python. So under the tooltip, you will see that if R is not installed and Python is not a seal, so a local installation of Python is required to import the data frame. So what is data frame? Data frame, Panda data frame is data structure provided by Panda package. It's like a table, okay? Same for R script, okay? So if you are installed, we'll tell you that you should install R. And R can be imported with two-dimensional array like a data structure called R data frame. So provided by default by this language. So Python have Panda data frame, which is from the Panda library. In R, we have R data frame. Both are data structure, which is like a table. So in order to import data using Python R, you need to write code in your text editor, which assign a Panda data frame or R data frame to the variable. This is the rule to use R and Python script with Power BI when you're doing data loading. So, so if Python is not installed or is not installed, so if you go here, it will tell you that Python is not installed. To install Python scripting, go to option setting, option and Pythons. So if you go here, you have a link which tell you how to install Panda, and you go and will jump you to Microsoft Docs webpage, which will open and will tell you how to install Python. So Microsoft just suggests the installing path distribution of Python. We will use our preferred IDE, we'll show next to create our script. So the same with R. If it hasn't already installed, it tell you have to install R. And if you go and click here, the documentation page will take you to Microsoft, which will suggest to install either Microsoft R Open or the classic Serial R. And again, we'll use our preferred IDE. So let's see how do we do very fast. First demo, Python and R transformation, R and Python script with Power BI. I will do data transformation. So we have to go to import data with get data, click on transform data, add a transformation test using Python or R, script by selecting transform in the Power Query editor, and by clicking R Python script, run R script Python, we will do some transformation. So let's see. First, open the Power BI desktop, go to get data, and we'll go to the web, and go to this URL, http bit iris CSV. This is the well-known dataset for Python. And from this, we'll tell him we want to access the web content anonymous connect here. Okay. After we'll do it, all the iris dataset, which is will be uploaded to our API. And then we go to transform, and then we'll choose from here R script or Python script. You can see it here. So if we click R script and R does not install, we'll see that R is installed. You need to install blah, blah, blah. And this is a link to how to install R. The same from Python. If you're going to R Python script here, you want to do a transformation on this dataset which you have loaded from the internet, it will tell you, in this case, do you have installation of Python, and you have to configure the Python with Power BI. So this first example shows you how to use R and Python data transformations. Data visualizations. script can be added to Power BI to create new visualization in addition to that already present in the tooltip of the box. So you can use R and Python to do visualizations. Once dataset iris, in this example, is loaded, simply please close and apply, and then you can select R visualization or Python visualizations. So if you select R data visualization, you can see it here. It will tell you enable script visualization for security reason. After you click enable, you will see this placeholder for our visuals, and then you can drag here all the fields that you want to use in R script into the R visuals. Then you can write your own custom script code in R script editor and run it to generate R visualization here. The same with Python. If you click Python visualization, you will ask for permission here. And then after this, you have placeholder for Python visual. And then you can drag all the fields here and you write your own custom code. So Power BI product relationships are Python support. You can see all the relation between the products, but the bottom line, we can use Power BI, Power BI service, Power BI embedded, and Power BI report server, which is installation which comes with SQL server, on-premise installations. What is important to know that we have Power BI desktop for Power BI service, and you have Power BI desktop which is optimized for Power BI report server. Power BI report server do not support R and Python. Okay, so if you write a report with R and Python, you cannot upload it to Power BI report server. But for Power BI service, you can use your Power BI desktop to write report with R and Python, upload it to the Power BI service. So Python script not working on Power BI service. And there is link here to compare between Power BI report server and the Power BI service. So how do we configure our environment without pay any money? The optimal way, use Azure environment, but you can manually install the software, download and install SSMS SQL Server Management Studio and Azure Data Studio, which comes with installation. Install Power BI Desktop for Power BI Service or Microsoft Power BI Desktop optimized for Power BI Report Server. This is my example. We should install R from this link. We should install Python. Then we will use RStudio, the open source edition. Why RStudio and not VS Code? Because RStudio, which is now on POSIT company, support both R and Python. So you have a single home for R and Python, very convenient. Then you can install SQL Server 2 Developer Edition, or the better way to install SQL Server 2 on Linux Docker. This is the way you install SSMS. You go for the link and install SSMS. And then you can download, then you can install from this link Power BI Desktop optimized for Power BI Report Server. So if you go to a link, you can go here and install Power BI Desktop from this link. You can see the screens here. Then you open Power BI Desktop. You can see that this is the updated version of January 2025. And then you should configure R with Power BI. So let's talk about how to configure R with R and Power BI. So what available are, we'll talk about available R engine, what R engine use for Power BI, how to install R engine for our visual same as Power BI service, how to install the ADE and configure for Python, and how to configure Power BI Desktop to work with R and RStudio. So let's run first. First, what is available? The available R engine are CRAN R distribution. What is CRAN R distribution? Or also called base R. This is compressive R network CRAN. This is a network of HTTP server which hold multiple and dedicated up-to-date version of R source code and ecosystem of R. This is ecosystem which has everything you can imagine. Why? Because we have the biggest advantage of active community developer, which create all the time new packages. And if you want to find a feature for every area, for medicine, data engineering, you'll find them because there are a tremendous number of packages. So you have any feature you need to process the data in this CRAN R distributions. Okay, so of course you have also R engine for Microsoft R Open, which is MRO. But Microsoft R Open calls us for Microsoft R. same version released by the C run R, but Microsoft announced in June 21 that it will not support of C run. So do not use MRO, and you should phase out to official C run R distributions. So why should we use MRO? Because C run R is linked to the single. In AI, we do a lot of vector calculation with basic linear algebra subprograms and linear algebra packages, vector, the matrix and matrix. The ability to perform basic and vector operation and solve operation is very, very important nowadays. But MRO, you can see it here, offer the advantage to already pre-configure and optimize to work within the processor and the MKL. So if you look at this benchmark, you can see that if you're working with MRO and with this programs, it works very, very fast in MRO of Microsoft, which is already configured with MKL. So if you want C run to work effectively, you have to do some procedure to link C run R with the MKL with the library of MKL of Intel. So you should know it. In MRO, it's already configured. The libraries which you do vector and algebra, etc., are you see BLAS and LAPACK. So you have to configure it. So MRO was already configured, but now we don't know MRO, so you should start with C run R and configure to work it effectively with the MKL of Intel. So R engine used by Power BI. So if you need to share a report with people inside the organization, then you must install the engine that works with Power BI service. If you want to do report for yourself on Power Desktop, you can install any version you want. In the Power BI service for Ask Visual are pre-installed on the cloud, and user must adapt to the version adopted by the service. So if you want to write Ask Visuals, you have to do the same R versions. If you want to do that transformation in JSON, Power BI, the Power BI service does not use the same engine for Ask Visual in this case. So the engines by Power BI service during data refresh phase for Ask Power Query has to be installed on any machine on the choice outside the service. So if you look here, you have a computer in these links. If you want to do data transformation, you will install in computer outside the Power BI service, Power BI Desktop, and any version of R you want. The data transformation will take care on this computer, and then you will connect to the Power BI service. So the R engine used by Power BI service during the data refresh phase in Power BI has to be installed on any machine of your choice outside the service. And on the same machine, you have to install the Power BI on-premise data gateway in personal mode. Okay. So Power BI Visual, you have the same version like in the cloud. If you want to do data ingestion, you can install any version you want, but on your machine, which has gateway to the Power BI service. So if you share a report, so if you want to install R Visual for R Visual, you have to install R Visual the same as Power BI service. So if you want to share a report containing R Visuals and you go to this link, you should just check the version. So if you go for Report Premium, Fabric, Peg, and Workspace, you see that current R runtime is 4.3.3. Okay. So how do you download this specific version which is compatible with the Power BI service and the Fabric? You go to the C run project, download for our Windows, click Base and Previous Release. You can see it here, and you will download the version which is compatible with the Power BI service for the R visuals. But in our case, I want to do all the new features, and I will install the latest version of our engines for that transformation on Power BI Desktop. So you go to C run project, click on C run version and click R will link. You can see it here, download for Windows, and then I will install the latest version here. And once the exe is downloaded, okay, you should run it. Right click run as administrator, C program file R, R44.2 disaster version, and install it on your computer. Okay. Note that we are download the 64-bit version. You can see it here. And this is how we install it. Okay. Now I want to install RStudio. RStudio, same on for Power Platform and R. I go to RStudio, RStudio desktop, and installer with installer. Now install RStudio. So I click here and download the free edition here. And this is the screen of installing RStudio. You can see it here, very simple. And after I install RStudio, which is 104 Python and R, latest version, when I start it, it will tell us you are working with version 442. Why? Because I've installed the latest version on my computer, and we will identify that I've installed already 442. By the way, I can, because I'm working with, if I want to choose from which repository I will take packages, I go to Tool Global Options, and then Primary CRAN Repository, and then I will select which repository I will take the packages. In my case, I will use Global CDN RStudio. Okay, you have a lot of options according to your location in the world, and then click OK. And if I want to choose which R engine I want to use for RStudio, I go to Tool Global Option General R Versions, and you go here, Change, and you will see here, select the version you want. In my case, I select the version I've installed on my computer, which is R44.2, and click OK. One of the problems is that I want to change the default library in R. Why? Because I want all the desktop to do with the same directory installation of R. So you should open C program files, R442 bin, rexe. Rexe is CMD terminal. Okay, and then write like this, libpass. Libpass will show you .libpass, show you the default library with the order. Then I write libpass and assignment to my pass. It will assign the pass to my pass. And then I will change between them. See my pass 2, see my pass 1. You can see it is this T. This means vector. My pass 2, my pass will change the order and put in my pass. Libpass, my pass will assign them to libpass, and then libpass. And you can see that if I go here, I see that the default order of the pass have been changed. You can see it here. So C program files R42 library is on the first default library, and then the other library, which is per user, is the second library. So this is the procedure to change the default library in R. I can do it also in RStudio. So I go to Tool Install Packaging and tell him which library I want to install, the package which I download from the repositories. By the way, I can add a new library path for my package. My path, libpass, C path, then C my path dot, and then this is the new path, and put it to my path, and .libpass my path will assign to the new path. So this is the way I can change the default library in RStudio. So RStudio desktop, you can see it here. You can see the R version. You can write code here. If you open R, you can choose which language you want, R and Python. You can see your data here. Okay, you can change here. You can decide which R version you want to use. So this is RStudio, and R is very simple. It's not for a programmer. It's for doctors, statisticians. So let's run R very fast. So RStudio console, you can write arithmetic operation, for example, 7.3, enter for date. This is a function, give the date. Help.log, this is a function also that will give us help about log function. Simple object in R. We can create object with the assignment operator. So this is the 8. This is 80 something, assignment to 8. 8, if you write 8, give us a value. Log 8 will give us the log of the 8. So this is, we put object as input to functions. This is another function, round 8 multiplied by dot something. And assignment to 8. This is a string, object and string. So this is a string, hello, assignment to string. String, enter, will input it, will print it. So know that in R, objects are case sensitive. So congratulations, you have learned R. This is the syntax, very, very simple. You can create vector with the special function named C. So this is vector temperature, C open, and this is all the value here. Temperature will give us the vector. Length, temperature will give us the length vector. Temperature for square bracket view the 40 member of the temperature will give us the 40 member. We can apply the function to each member of the vector individually. So if you want x temperature, it will do exponent on each vector, on each value, on each member of the vector here. You can see it here. So how do we R script editor in Polybase is very limited. I will tell us to work with a standard IDE. So we go to file option setting option, and then R scripting, set R home directory. You can see it here, and telling which IDE you want to use. So detect IDE is RStudio here. So our editor is very limited in Power so we can see it here. Therefore, we should use external IDE. So how to install packages in R? You have installed package once per computer. How to install packages? You go to R and write install packages and package names. You can tell him also install package, the package name, and the lib and the path to where to install it. This is implicitly. You can install multiple packages at once. C, this is a vector. So we want to install packages, data table, and deep layer, and put it in packages. And then install dot packages, and inside the packages is the vector we have created. Vector created with C. Library, okay. Library will load the package into the memory using script. So we have to use it in each script of R. It should be run profession. So we install and library. So how to install packages from RStudio? We go to install from repository. You can install from repository, or you can install from zip. You can download the zip or the tar gz file, and then tell him install the packages from this path and install it to the library. So if we install R, we have C program files RR44.2 library, the library where all the packages are being installed. So how to install our package from RStudio? You can see another example here. I'm in Power Desktop. There is a missing package, and I can install it from here. Install from repository C-run, and then write all the packages in RStudio. Write here Tidyverse, Post, ggterms, gridx, etc., and then telling where to install the packages. This is the way inside, and then install. After install it, you can see the download of the packages. By the way, there's some problems. If we have this, if they have the message which tell us unable to access for repository HTTPS, we can go to install. We can go to package. You can see it here, management, and then use secure download method for HTTP. Uncheck it. After we uncheck it, all the downloaded package will be very will be installed, and we do not have this error message. Okay, so this is an example. If we in Power BI and we want to load library Tidyverse, library scale, library ggterms, and we have message that tell us error in library gems. There is no package called ggterms, so we go to R and tell him, see, this is vector Tidyverse. Scales, gems, glue, assignment to packages, then install packages. They will install all the missing packages in one command. By the way, sometimes we have to remove a package and install it again because we have here tell us that cannot display these visuals. So in this case, we should use remove packages Tidyverse and then install packages Tidyverse. You can see it here. Okay, so I told that if you want to use, so we have R visuals. You can install any packages, including a customer package in these links, or you have customer visuals, which you can use only for public C1. So current runtime is for 3.33. So how do you install a specific package of R? Install packages devtool. Library devtool will upload the library devtool, and then install version ggplot version. This is 3.4.5.1, and this is the repo. Why? Because if you go to this link, you see that R visual use ggplot version 3.5.1. So you can see also that there are requirement and limitation of our packages and these links about the versions and etc. etc. No limitation, data size, for example, output size, resolution. You can read it here. So how do you configure Python with Power BI? So there are several distributions of Power BI, standard Python, active Python, Anaconda, etc. But for simplicity, we use the base, which is python.org. And how to install packages of Python? We use Python package index, pip. Okay, and we install it from Python website. We need to install the minimum number of packages which Power BI uses. It's Panda, which is Python package that provide fast, flexible, and precise tabular multi-dimension time series data, Matoboli, the plotting library, and NumPy that use this library which work with array and function linear algebra. So this is what we need for Power BI. Python engine used by Power BI, so we can install Python latest release from BI desktop. But if you are using Power BI service, you can use Python 3.1.1. So if you need to install personal on your desktop, you have no limitation. If the report contains Python visual and share on Power BI service, so there are limitations. You can see the version here. Again, if you use Python script for data transformation, you can install PowerScript script in Power Query that be installed in machine outside your Power BI service. You can see the example here. So Power BI service is this. Power BI transformation, you can install the machine outside of Power BI service with a gateway to the Power BI service. So again, this is the link. We tell us what are Python script, what you should do for install Power script in Power BI desktop. So this is installations. This is the windows for how to install Python. Okay. We install Python, in my case, Python latest versions. We install the required packages. How do you install the required packages? You open CMD as administrator, and then you write pip.exe from the bin of the Python directory, install Panda, pip.exe install NumPy, pip.exe install Metabol. This is the way you install packages in Python. So again, you go to RStudio and tell us tool global option and use the Python interpreter we have just now installed. So CPython, Python version, and Python exe. And this will tell Python to use, we tell RStudio to use this version of Python. And then we have to restart our RStudio. So this example how we write a Python script in RStudio, new file Python script, and then import Python speed. It means import Panda library from Python and call it PD nickname. Data, this is the Panda frame, which is you can see it here. And then PD data frame, data, and this is column name in eng, and D type free. So you take this array and make it to data frame with column name. And then you can print in printdf, you print the Panda data frame. So you can install also SQL Server and Docker and use it on your local computer. I don't have time to show it, so I'm very, very fast. Okay, see it here. So why should we use ggplot? ggplot from how? ggplot, it's quality data visualization out of the box. It's most popular charting in library R. It's more sophisticated plot than the R-based plotting system. We have translation available in all language. We have use community and contributor ongoing and proven. We have extension library. You can see it here, a lot of extension library. How to install the library? Install packages ggplot, and then library ggplot and up and load it. So what are the steps to build our custom visual in Power BI? We'll see it very well now. So configure your Power BI environment, install required package we installed before, get data, load the data in your Power BI, create filter slicer based on the demo, drag a custom visual, export data, and load required. Let's see the example. So we have a lot of options for our custom visual in Power BI, but we want to build a bubble chart demo using R in Power BI. I do not know which visual in Power BI can do it, but it's very, very easy in R with Power BI. So this is scatter plot with additional attributes. We have layer for point. We have a fiction leg of basketball, data from a basketball leagues. So X, it's weight, Y, it's 8. Fill the color inside this bubble is the region. You can see the region here, Africa, America, Asia, Europa. The color along the bubble is the league. So we have league ABA, NBA, NBA, the color. The size of the baskets. The size is the baskets. The size of the basket is the number of baskets. You can see it here. The label is the name of the basket player. So we have 3 continuous and 3 discrete variables. So X, Y, region, leagues, basket name. So this is our data. You can see it here. So we have ID, first name, last name, weight, 8, basket, region, leagues. This is player basket CSV. Okay, so first we have to load the data in the Power BI. Get data, text CSV, player basket CSV. You can see it here. Then we should update column name, column data type, and don't summarize on ID, first name, last name, weight, 8, basket, region, leagues. You can see it here. Then we have to drag a filter slicer on the year. Select slicer vision, drag it to the canvas. Select here and drag it in the slicer. And now we'll go and drag our script visual, resize the visual, and drop all the fields here, all the player basket on the R visuals, and we'll label script visuals. So our script editor is very limited, but if you drag these fields, we have dataset in Power BI that is assigned to our object, which called data frame name dataset. You can see it here. Data frame is 2 dimensions, like a table. Power BI allow only dataset with unique rows, so you can see it. Dataset, data frame, ID, first name, last name, weight, etc., etc. Dataset, unique dataset, and then we should write our code here. So we'll not develop here. So we'll open we will go to our studio and develop the scripts. Okay. So in our script, we'll add the following lines to read the file and start debugging. Set the WE, our custom visual chart ggplot, mean go to this directory. Dataset read CSV, mean read the player basket CSV, which is inside in this directory, and open the file. You can see it here. And then we write the code. How do you write the code? So you can see set the W dataset. Okay. And now we will so we'll upload library Tadaverse, which is a collection of open source libraries to clean and structure and visualize data. We'll upload ggRepel. ggRepel, it's automatic position now overlay stack and label with ggplot. And ggtemps change the display of non-data component of the visual. So we need to upload all these libraries in our code. And now source column, sort column name dataset. We will sort alphabetically all the column name from the CSV file. Then we create another vector. You can see here, basket, first name, 8, ID, last name, league, region, weight, year. And then we'll compare this vector of column name with what we got from the CSV file. Is to all equal source column Power BI column and put it into column compare. Now we have to be sure that in the year slicer we select only 1 year. So slice year, unique data years. So unique function to get a list of unique years. So now we'll create our ggplot only if length slicer is equal 1. It means we select only one year. And column compare, it means that the column we get from the CSV file is equal to the column to the vector of column name here. And then our visual data. Our visual data will so if you look here, our visual data. So dataset, this is the syntax for ggplot. Dataset, this is our dataset we get from the CSV file, and then we'll pipe it to another column. We'll create another column, which is the first name, the first letter of the name, and the last name, and we'll concatenate them. So substring first name 1 and last name paste mean concatenate the first name, the first character of the name with the last name, and put it in a new column which is named name, and then add it to the dataset we got from the CSV file. Okay, so this is the way where you add a new variable function or to existing variable with the function mutate. Now, if you go to this site, X column, you can choose the color. So this will, in this way, you choose the color. So if I go to this site, I choose a color for the vector of the region color. So see, this is vector, Asia one color, Africa one color, Africa, Europe. So from this site, I choose the XML for ggplot for the color. I create another league color, which is another vector, C, AB, AB, which is the leagues. Again, I choose the color from here. And now I will create the chart with ggplot. Chart title is our custom visual for ggplot for /year. This is the year we selected and separate. So this is assignment which concatenate all the title for our graph. Now ggplot has its own syntax function ggplot. It accepts data frame object and a CS6 is Y variables. The code is organized in blocks and multiple lines ingested and the connection with the plus symbols. So our visual data, this is the data, the input data. IS, this is our dimension, X, weight, Y, age, size, basket, color leagues. Field region, this is the vector of the color of the league. Field, this is the field. This is the vector of the region. Stroke 2. Stroke Arduino control the size of the edge border of the point. And this is labeling. So this is our dimension. Plus, you can see the plus here. And scale color manual values league color. So change color value using preferred color by league color. Scale field manual values region color. This is the vector of the region color. Geom point shape 22. So only shape 21 can define border, color, and fill. Geom text script size 5. This is Geom tries to prevent Geom text replace. This Geom tries to prevent overlapping text with its label. Geo title chart title. This is the title. Same fields. This means the background of the visual. In our case, it's empty background. Else, if the conditions are not met, plot new title input not visual. So you can see the result here. This is the result. This is the final result. By the way, you can see it also in my Power BI desktop. Okay, this is with ggplot in very, very easy. So let's run because I don't have too much time. Okay. How to insert data into table from SQL Server Power BI? So, example, you want to log on to monitor the amount of data being loaded into data mart. So, how do you do it? You should first create DSN with ODBC to SQL Server database. Okay. So you go here, you create ODBC. This is an example. Then you create a table for ETL log table on SQL Server. Drop table if it exists, create table. Load a datetime default. This is the load time. Table and voucher and name of record. So Power BI is only for read, but we can show that we can insert data into SQL Server Power BI and do a logging of a table. So in our case, I will use script insert data. I use they are called insert data into table in SQL Server from our Power BI. So we have two data frames, df read and record insert. So we'll rename df read to DM account in the DB properties and click to workflow and apply. You can see it. So again, this is our studio. See, open file. If I go to our demo, see, go to our demo. You can see it here, and this is my code. You can see it here. And you can see the code here. Okay. And this is the way. So let's run very, very fast. Library adverse, library ODBC. So this library we have to upload. Okay. Now, table name, it's DIM account. I can change the table name directly. SQL query paste, mean concatenate, select star from DBO table name. In this case, DIM account. Con ODBC con DSN, this is the name of ODBC. UID, it's a. Here I use SA, but it's not recommended for security reasons, but only for the example. And this is a password. Read df SQL query channel con mean query SQL query mean. Go to the SQL query and do select come from DIM account. Now I want to log into the table. So current date now. It's mean get the date now. Number of records and row read df. So this will go on what I read from the table and will count the number of rows. Then I will convert it to list. So record insert list, load date, current date, table name, number of records. Record insert as table record insert. So as table turn the exist objects such data frame or matrix into the frame class we call tbldf. You can see it here. And then SQL 7. Then I will now do the logging. So channel code is the connection. That record insert is the record we have created here. Table name ETL log, append to, run and false, and close. I should close the connection all the time. And after I did, I see that read df, it's the table which we have read into Power BI. Okay, you can see it here, form R. Record instead will log how many rows in this table currently and what is the load date. So again, you have also the example here. You can see the example here with DIM account. So this is the way we can insert from Power BI data into SQL Server. For example, we are doing ETL to log the amount of ETL we have done. This is the example. Okay, you can see the example, read df, record insert, and you can see it. Let's go because I don't have too much time. Stop, okay. Want to run fast. We want to do string manipulation with Python and NLP. Why string manipulation? Because Power Query support basic string processing, but R and Python enable advanced string manipulations. So I want to show you how we mask sensitive data using Python in Power BI. How do we mask the ID and phone number? For example, if I want to go to Microsoft Cognitive, and we have more IDs. So first, we have to ensure that we have installed Python and is configured on Power Desktop. So we are going to option and setting option, Python scripting, and you see that Python scripting, see Python, and you see the Python directories and the IDE. And we will prepare our screen. So prepare Python script and get data Python script. You can see it here. And you should here put your script. Select connect, copy the script into Python script. And after I run this script on the input data, you will see that all the phone and the ID is masked. You can see it here. You can see it here. Okay. You can see that the phone number and ID is masked. So how do we do it? You should go to our IDE, to our studio, and then develop a script. Very, very simple. So the script is called string manipulation with Python.py. And how do you do it? import pandas PD mean import the panda library and call it PD. Import HE, this is a regular expression library. Import OS mean OS Installation Operating System library. And it's very simple. Why? Here is the function def mask test. The input is clear test. The font pattern, in our case, I use the font number in Israel, which is number between 0 and 9, 10 times. And the ID pattern is 9 number of decimal number. And now, this is the function, and then clean text resub, call the function resub. The font pattern is x66. The font pattern, I want to find the font pattern which is declared here, which is 9 number. And instead I want to put x66 and put it in clear text and do it on clear text. Now to do another masking is to take the clean text here, find the ID, find all ID pattern and put it x66 and then return clear text. Or changer mean go to this directory. And if you don't know regular extension, by the way, you can go to this site, regularexpression.com, put what you want here, the regular expression, you want to understand, and it will show you visually how to explain the regular expression. You can see it here. And so you can see that if you don't know what is this regular expression mean, you put it, and display will show you what is the explanation for example, for this version. And after you do it in Python R, you want to read this. You do it as follow: df pd read CSV mean read the customer feedback CSV, which is the CSV. df add mean display the top 5 records. df remarks mean go to the field remarks and imply df remarks imply the mask text function we've seen before. You can see it here. And after I run it, you can see that the data is masked. So this is the customer feedback CSV. This is the PY Python, and this is our Power BI PBX. So after we develop this script, we'll upload it to Power BI, and we'll do all this, and we'll do the masking here. So again, we do all the mask in our CSV file. So you can see it. You can see the result here. So I don't have too much time. So this is a new topic, exciting topic. Why? We want to find feature with R and Python Visual. Why? Because if you're doing AI, there is an iterative process of take your data, transform your data to, by the way, transform your data so ML can work with it. It's not star schema, it's the design which collaborates between flat fly and star schema, and you want to do a process, iterative process of discovery of feature, all what you think it will influence our model and put it into our model. How to discover these features? So in this phase, you take the raw data, you shape the data, and then you create your data model. You can see it here. And now you want to find features from your data model for the ML training. So what is association between variables? Correlation between numeric variables. To understand whether there is association between two numeric variables features, you have to plot them on a graph and see the connection. So you can see that there is positive direction, negative directions, no define, no association, and no association. So this is positive, negative, but no association, with no association or increasing. So there are many possible forms, but the most common are linear and curve, linear, non-linear, between shape of association. For example, if you're using this dataset frame, 5 minutes, okay, you see this vector 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you want to find the correlation between the vector. You write core dataset input to M. You can calculate the correlation matrix. So the result here will be that X and Y have perfect negative correlation. So you see that X is going only up, Y is going down. So X and Y is -1. X and Z have perfect positive correlation. Why? Because you can see that X go up, Y, Z go up, so the correlation between them is 1. Y and Z also have perfect negative correlations. Okay. By the way, between X, it's 1 because variable with and variable have the same variable have perfect correlation. So I'll prepare data for our correlation plot in Power BI. First, you have to drag your R visual here. You can see it here. Okay. You have to convert all the true, false columns to integer column where 1 represents true and 0 represents false. Why? Because the Copilot only can accept only integer values. So here I have true and false. In this example from FV, this is another real database of bird accident. You can see that all these fields have been converted to integer. True for column related to wild strike. So after I do it, I will drag the ASCII visual. Okay, I will put slicer on which I want to use airplane, and the year is greater than or equal than 2014. And then while the R visual is here, I will drag all the fields to the R correlations. So, and this is the only code I have to need to find if there is correlation between variables and to plot it. So require core plot, this is library plot the library, and core dataset mean take the dataset and plot it, put it into M matrix or data frame, and then core plot M mean put a graph which this is, you can see it here. You can see it here. This is the variables, and this is the code here. Ask very simple code. Okay. Now where the integer code column will create, and we'll see the correlation. It's more clear here between all the variables. You can see it here. The variables. Our correlation plot with true or false integer columns. Let's explain it. Larger circle indicates stronger correlations. Okay. Blue indicate positive correlations. White represent no significant correlation. Red indicate negative correlations. Here, diagonal is between the same variables, so it always shows perfect correlations. So the correlation is between 1 and -1. So this is the only code we have to use in order to plot the correlations. After I did it, I can identify which feature in my data set using Power BI. I can use it to predict damage, in my case, on our airplanes. See it here. This feature will be added to the ML queries. So having the ML queries, I will add all the feature here. You can see it here. It's very simple. I didn't use any ML services, Azure ML, etc., etc. Only use simple line of code. I think I don't have time. I have time, or can you continue?
You've got 2 minutes left, David.
Okay, so let's run very fast. Very fast. Another tremendous thing is Polybase. Polybase in SQL Server with Polybase you can use any technology with Transact SQL. It's free, available in SQL Server. You can connect to Mongo, Cloudera, etc., etc., etc. So why it's good? Because when I'm using, I showed the example here. I can go to SQL Server, define all the table in Mongo, SQL Server, Postgres, Oracle, Hadoop as external table, and then I don't have to know the technology. And only with you can see example here, I can connect to Oracle. Okay, I can connect to with a wizard from Azure Data Studio to MongoDB. You can see it here, and I can from here I can from Transact SQL, for example, this example, use string aggregate, I can do a query which will combine SQL Server, Oracle, and MongoDB. And from Transact SQL, you can see the query here. This query join between Mongo, Oracle, and Oracle HR employees, Mongo, and SQL Server for single column. And then I can go to, Power BI and use this query to build data lake with no cost of money, with simple queries. You can see it here. By the way, I can use Polybase and Power BI to build dashboard for MongoDB. Okay, very simple. And for Oracle, etc., etc. Postgres dashboard, you can see it here. And I think it's enough for today. I can continue, but
I think
to summarize, we have seen that we can use R and Python in Power BI without paying extra to Azure ML. This is the basic data you should know, because if you use another compiler, you will be out of the market. This is what you need in order to understand your data. It's very simple. You can do it only on your Power BI desktop, and then you can play with all the new tools. Okay, so this was the example. By the way, I send you all the examples which are besides on the share.
Thank you, David.